first, is the energy industry facing total collapse? Yes, well, the GMB, which is Labour's third biggest union backer, has launched a scathing attack on the Energy Secretary Ed Miliband's net zero policies, warning that they will totally destroy the oil and gas industry. In the foreword to a report released today, the Scotland Secretary of the Union, Louise Gilmore, blasted the government's clean energy transition, writing, "Our government seems stricken, almost delusional in the face of onrushing disaster. They insist we must ignore today's reality and believe in tomorrow's dreams, as arguably the most destructive industrial calamity in our nation's history, a disaster risking untold jobs, communities and even higher bills, and our energy security unfolds." So tonight I'm asking, when will Red Ed get the memo? Going head-to-head on this now are the Shadow Energy Secretary, Claire Coutinho, and the Director of the Climate Media Coalition, Donnachadh McCarthy. Thank you very much. Claire, I'll start with you. Thanks for joining us. So what do you make of what's been said today about Ed Miliband's energy policies?
Absolutely right. And let's just start with the North Sea. There is no country anywhere else in the world that is shutting down its domestic energy supplies. Even the Climate Change Committee acknowledges that we're going to need oil and gas for decades and decades and decades. And if we need it, we should use as much as possible of the oil and gas that we can get from Britain. It's as simple as that. But what we are doing is the Labour government is banning new licenses, which means they are shutting down the North Sea. And in fact, we're importing more gas from Norway, more LNG from the US, which has higher emissions than the gas that we can get from the North Sea. So whether it is for the environment or the economy or for our energy security, what we're doing is simply mad. And like I said, there is no other country in the world that is doing what we're doing here.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. And I'll bring you in on this, Donnachadh. I mean, Ed Miliband has obviously lost the unions over this. And nothing screams luxury belief, does it? Like a multimillionaire who lives in a house with 2 kitchens telling working class people that them losing their jobs and their livelihoods is just doesn't matter.
That's not what he said. Come on.
What? Sorry, are you disagreeing with what? Can you hear what I say or not?
Sorry, I thought you were talking to Claire.
No, you, Donnachadh. Sorry, yes.
Okay, sure, yeah. Thank you very much. It's fascinating to see Claire come in on this issue like this. She seems to be like a full-time propagandist for the oil industry. Under the Tories, her last 10 years of the Tory government, 30% of jobs were lost in the North Sea. Why? Because it's a declining oil field. The oil there is really expensive, and if we did produce it, we cannot use it in the UK because it's not the sort of oil we use. And this report that the GMB is quoting from the Tory think tank, the Jobs Foundation, is hilarious. It quotes the oil jobs, which is 30,000 in the legacy industry, and completely ignores the new jobs replacing them. There are already 71,000 jobs in the renewable industry, and the CBI says it's our major source of economic growth.
But those people who work in the oil and gas industry right now are not necessarily going to get those jobs, are they? There's different people. And sorry, just to clarify something, Donnachadh, are you accusing the GMB, which is Labour's third biggest union backer, of being a propaganda wing of the Tory party?
No, I'm talking about the the Jobs Foundation, which the report is based on, which is what Claire Coutinho was commenting on. And actually, that's what I'm talking about. It's a Tory think tank that produced this report. And as regards GMB, the Unite Union, which the largest union supports, and the CBI, the Confederation of British Industry, totally backs the transition because it knows that's where our growth is and has been for the last 2 years. And the idea the Tory party wants to destroy 950,000 green jobs is economic madness.
OK, well, Claire, let's come back to you there. Go on.
There's nowhere near 950,000 green jobs. Even if you look at the highest figures, if you even look at the highest figures which quote green jobs, what they include is, for example, things like waste and recycling and charities, which most people don't count as, actual green jobs. But let me come back to this point. Gas, all of the gas that we use. Let's come back to this point. All of the gas that we get from the North Sea goes into the UK domestic gas supply. That is 50% of our gas supply. So why on earth should we be shutting down that source of supply and importing it from Norway in the US?
We're not shutting down our gas fields. What we are doing is we're actually not proposing.
Excuse me.
We're not shutting down current fields. We are not shutting down any
Right, okay,
jobs.
stop. Right, let's just let Claire in and then I'll come back to you.
Can I just, yes, exactly. We're losing thousands of jobs. And what happened in Q1 last year, our imports of foreign energy went up by 42% because production from the North Sea was declining so rapidly, because what Ed Miliband is doing is taxing the North Sea into oblivion and banning them from new licenses. So why on earth should we be
really unfair, Claire.
drilling here when what we drill here has lower emissions?
What's really, really problematical with all of your campaign over the last 2 years is you keep comparing not like with like. So, for example, you just said imports went up this year because gas went down. Yes, gas went down because of the declining field under your government. Ed Miliband has not reached any production this year.
That is simply not true.
Totally untrue.
North Sea, and you can talk to industry.
Sorry, rein it in. Go on, Claire.
I'm sorry. It's simply indisputable fact that the North Sea is currently losing huge amounts of jobs because of Ed Miliband's policies. Are you trying to tell me that Ed Miliband's policies of banning new licenses and increasing the taxes have had zero impact? Are you saying that basically? Yes.
Donnachadh, can I just put you up on something here, Donnachadh? Can I just put you up on something here? Because I actually have relatives, right, who happen to live and work in the oil industry in Aberdeen, who are losing their jobs because of Ed Miliband's policies. So for you to come on, so it's not true. Oh, right, okay, so it's not true. So the house is going for sale, they have to lose their jobs, they have to move to Indonesia to go and work in the oil industry there. But that's not true, Donnachadh. They're all lying, are they?
So please, both of you, the jobs that are currently being lost in North Field is because there was the investment and the field declined over the last 10 years. 30% decline under the Tories, 65% decline under the previous governments. There's no jobs lost this year. What there will be jobs lost is in 20 years' time when those gas fields come on board. And by that stage, the requirement for oil and gas in the UK will be infinitesimal from where it is now. And Claire Coutinho should be backing the new well-paid jobs in the green economy, not backing the international oil billionaires.
They're not as well paid. Let's be clear, they're not as well paid. The average oil and gas worker is earning £80,000. And secondly, have you been to Aberdeen? I have been to Aberdeen. Those people are undergoing firing rounds at the moment. They're losing their jobs right now. And if you go and speak to them, they will say
because of your policies and the declining field.
Okay.
They lose 30% of jobs. Do you deny that? Do you accept, Claire Coutinho?
I think it's absolutely astonishing.
The job in the oil industry under Claire Coutinho,
we're going to have to go. We're going to have to go. I tell you what I would like to do. I would like to do a show from Aberdeen at some point in the future, which we are probably planning on. And tell you what, Donnachadh, it'd be really fascinating if you could join me on an oil rig or something like that, and maybe you can tell all of those people there that they are denying reality, right? I'd really love to see how that goes. But anyway, that is the Shadow Energy Secretary, Claire Coutinho, and the co-director of the Climate Media Coalition, Donnachadh McCarthy. Coming up.